The summer wind blows in again. Sometimes I wonder where we lost it. My good intentions were your favorite weapons, and still I've yet to learn my lesson. Oh, oh, oh. No, I don't need much for anything but a shady tree and a couple pours of whiskey to write my songs of love and life and lost, and just a few by you. So if you'll hear me out, stay with me. We might never have to leave. You my southern king, we live it for the daydreams. So don't you laugh, Notre Dame had his chance, and he's a good man, but there's some things you just won't understand. You know my old man's out of town for a couple days. I think that you should stay with me all summer. Stay with me under the covers. Stay with me, be my lover. So come on down, I will show you how. Us Midwest boys like to party. So grab a beer and get over here. Summer's drawing near. Don't wait another year. Hey, hey, yeah, stay with me. We might never have to leave. You my southern king, we live it for the daydreams. Yes, we do. So don't get mad. What's past is in the past, and we can make this last if you just give me that chance. So when my old man's out of town for a couple days, I think that you should stay with me all summer. Stay with me under the covers. Stay with me, be my lover.
Truly, though, what an amazing adventure we had. We were honored and humbled by the experience. We learned so much about our collective struggle and ourselves. We came out stronger for it and even more committed to righting a terrible wrong, not only in California, but in the entire country.
Tonight we are here to celebrate that finally, marriage equality is the law of the land of Lincoln. The day of the House hearing in February, a bus of African-American ministers and parishioners drove 3 hours in a snowstorm from Chicago to Springfield. Two of those leading ministers, Reverend B. Herb Martin and Reverend Otis Moss, waited until nearly 11 o'clock that night to testify in support of the marriage equality bill. And their leadership throughout the duration of this campaign was critical to the outcome. When the bill finally came up for vote in the House, a strong majority of African American legislators voted yes.
I know how hard all of you worked to get here, but we're not done. This is our chance. We have the momentum, and if we stand together, we can make equality a reality in all 50 states. Earlier, Chris talked about how transformative equality can be, and I know firsthand. My brother is finally happy and comfortable with the way he was born. Kelvin, I want you to know that I'm so proud of you. You've always been there for me as my best man and now my daughter's godfather. And I will always stand up for your rights, because no one has the right to take away your freedoms.
My favorite state
marriage equality before Illinois was Minnesota. And we all know why, because we got to watch Michelle Bachmann's head spin around and pop off. I love the speech. She was like, if marriage equality passes in Minnesota, I'm seceding from the state. I'm going to leave. And her argument is the argument we are all tired of hearing. Her argument is that it threatens traditional marriage. I'm like, Michelle, the only marriage it threatens is yours because now your husband is free to marry the man of his dreams. Have you heard him speak? He was like, I am not gay, and a purse fell out of his mouth. And I think it was a clutch fell out of his mouth. My favorite thing about Rick Santorum, he was the worst historian the GOP's ever had, because Rick Santorum would end a speech and he would go, before I leave, I'd really like to thank the men and women who signed the Declaration of Independence. I'm like, Rick, no women signed the Declaration of Independence, those were men in wigs. Marriage equality in Illinois, I just have an announcement for all the young gays that have been together less than 6 months. Just because you can does not mean you should.
Fairness and equality are values of our nation that we as Americans strive to live by every day. We know in our hearts that none of us get ahead when some of us are stuck with second-class status. It is for this reason that I will always continue my advocacy for equal rights for any man and for any woman. Thank you.
I was so inspired over the past couple of years how people came together from every part of our state and never gave up. There were setbacks along the way, but we never quit. And we worked together in the best traditions of Abraham Lincoln's government of the people. We used the power of democracy to perfect our democracy. We're never going to be perfect on this earth, but we realize that when we band together and work together for a cause we believe in, there's no more powerful force on this earth. And that we saw that this year in our state of Illinois. It'll culminate on Wednesday when I sign that bill into law and make it a law of our state that will last forever. Some of our opponents recited religious scripture and so on. They're entitled to do that. That's part of democracy. But when I think of democracy, I think of a letter in the New Testament that says, love is patient, love is kind, love never fails. Thank you very much.
And on behalf of the more than 11,000 Groupon employees in 48 countries, I'm really honored to accept the 2013 Corporate Equality Award from the HRC. You know, it's especially poignant to be with you tonight to celebrate this year's victories for equality. Groupon is proud to stand with companies like Kraft, Aon, Orbitz, and the many others who have made being out at work something to be understood, something to be accepted, and to be celebrated. We've all read and heard commentary about the apparent speed of advances in LGBT equality. But these advances were built on a foundation of activism and advocacy, both noisy and quiet, in front of the curtain and behind the scenes over many decades. Arguably, the most dramatic advances have taken place in the 30 years that I've been in business through quiet, courageous advocacy for advancing workplace advocacy for LGBT employees. And workplace equality could not have come this far without LGBT citizens showing the courage to come out to family and friends and live openly and honestly. At Groupon, we know that our employees' lives don't start when they come into the office and they don't stop when they leave. We work better when our colleagues can bring their whole selves to work every day. We're a stronger company, and our communities are stronger, without exception, when our friends and coworkers can have a relationship with a person that they love and support, and those relationships are equally valued. With marriage rights in Illinois secured, it's time to focus our efforts on the rest of the country and the rest of the world to ensure that discrimination based on sexual orientation is defeated everywhere.